This is it. This is the last distance run before I join the Empire. I'm feeling much better with a little bit of coffee, but no less dark because the second annual Star Wars Dark Side weekend is just around the corner at Walt Disney World. Run Disney recently sent out an email saying there was a waiver in my future, a reference to a waiver in the Force. And that means I now have my bib number and corral placement. And those corrals have changed. They're bigger and they're in a new place. I'm going to show you the new course maps. They're pretty exciting. First, let's talk about the training plan because I've had a really tough time sticking to it. I did manage to finish the last major distance run before the race weekend. Good morning. This run is a good example of what I've been going through for the past 3 months. Temperatures have been up and down, 75 degrees the other day, 57 degrees this morning. And you'd think I'd be doing better with that, but my energy levels have been up and down. I think it's seasonal allergies. They've been off the charts. I've been having to take a lot of Benadryl, a lot of Zyrtec. I think it's time for a physical. I've been struggling to keep an 11:45 pace this morning. I don't know why, the training has never come easy for me. Remember, you can find training plans for all of the races at Walt Disney World and Disneyland by simply going to rundisney.com, click on the training tab, and you'll find them there whether you have experience or you're a beginner. Now, specifically looking at the plan for the Star Wars Dark Side Challenge, which is the races I'm going to run, 10K half marathon. It started back during the second to last week of December, right before Christmas. At that point, I was deep into training for Goofy's Race and a Half Challenge. So instead of 9 miles for the first week of the Star Wars plan, I had just put in more than 50. Fast forward into January, and it would have had me put in 5 miles on a Sunday, but I was running my first ever full marathon at 26 miles. In February, I didn't follow the plan at all. I had too much on my plate. So the first weekend, I was putting in more than 16 at the Daytona Beach Half Marathon Speedway Challenge instead of 8 called for by the Star Wars plan. And then at the end of the month, I ran the Princess Half Marathon dressed as Prince Hans, so 13.1 instead of 9.5. I really picked things up in March while I was working on the recap for the Princess Half Marathon, and I put myself through a bit of a boot camp. I ran 3, 4, 5, and 6, the miles back to back, 1 week, 5, 5, 5, and 5 to get my legs primed. I did start with week 14 and ran 4, 4, 4, 12.5, and then this past weekend putting in that 14-mile adventure because they want you to run a little bit more so you know you can finish the half marathon. I know I'm struggling with energy. Gotta look for some positives. Looks like They fixed all of those crazy sidewalk areas where I was tripping last summer. So my distance course runs, my training runs are going to be a lot smoother this coming summer.
Miles. Average pace 11:46. Heart rate 162. You rock.
Mirror, hi. Hey. Look who's joined me. Coach Spanky's going to help me tell you about the corrals. Hey, look who's joined me. Coach Spanky's going to help me tell you. You're so beautiful. Hi. Hey, look who's joined me. Come here, Spanky. Coach Spanky is here to help me tell you about the corrals and the course maps. So I'm a bit disappointed in my bib number. I took the advice of Track Shack. They're the outfit that actually goes through and makes sure people are put in the proper corrals. And they had told me in a previous race to give my best half marathon time. This put me in the D corral. I wish I would have put in my 10K time, but they won't tell you how they crunch the number. And the 10K time would have actually put me in C corral with a bunch of my friends. If you take a look at the corrals, there are only 7 of them, A through G, unlike the A through P that many of you are used to. That means that the corrals are probably much bigger, and if you go by some of the discussion online, they're probably going to wave the corrals, which means you'll see a fireworks at the beginning of, say, the B corral, and then again, halfway through the B corral, they will do another ready, set, go. Another big change, if you look at the course maps, those corrals are all placed at the southern half of the Ticketing and Transportation Center, which is the gateway to the Magic Kingdom. And if you follow the news, they are placing all of the security screening for the Magic Kingdom now at the TTC. So for the 10K race, it's going to head down World Drive, up onto one of the ramps. There may be a slight hill in this race, onto Buena Vista Drive, and then it's going to take you to Hollywood Studios, the north part of the Boardwalk Resort area, past Yacht and Beach Club, through the International Gate, past the British and Canadian pavilions, and then onto Spaceship Earth and the finish line. That's a big change. The half marathon's a bit different than it was during the inaugural Star Wars Dark Side weekend. It looks like the first part of the race could be kind of boring because they have to take us out on some access roads past the golf course just to get us to Animal Kingdom. Then you're going to run out on Osceola Parkway, up toward World Drive and Buena Vista Drive through Hollywood Studios, and then through the southern part of the Boardwalk Resort area, past the Boardwalk Inn itself, putting in a loop almost around the entire part of the World Showcase, and then off onto Spaceship Earth and the finish line. Now I have a few more training runs to put in before we actually head out to the expo and start that race weekend. Remember, you can keep me motivated by hitting that subscribe button, or give me a thumbs up if you've already subscribed. Leave a comment in the description below. Coming up next, I'm going to talk a little bit about planning your race calendar and how difficult it is making these Run Disney race decisions.